right, so we're back here again to talk about Marquise, 50 Cent's son. You know, the recent olive branch statements that people are discussing, you know, from son to father. At the end of the day, they're blood. They look alike, right? I think it's interesting because I have a certain take, a certain perspective on the response or why 50 is managing it this way. It's basically, you know, Marquise saying that um, he's ready for a sit down. He's reaching out. 50 has him blocked on social media. He doesn't have his phone number or whatever. He can't get in touch with him. So a public statement is the only way to really get word out or get message out to 50. He also explains the picture that he took with Supreme's son. Remember, that was one of Supreme, I mean, not one of Supreme's things. That was one of 50's things. You know, he's saying allegedly this guy was involved in the attempt made on 50's life. And here you are taking a picture with his son. Marquise explained that he thought that that was just a fan. He didn't know that that was Supreme's son. You know, as a clout chase moment, he explained that, et cetera, et cetera. So he's retracting some of these things that supposedly were done to piss his father off at the time, or maybe he's telling the truth. Maybe they were not done on purpose to piss his father off at the time. I remember 50 did an interview, you know, like a month ago or something like that, saying that his son was a hookah boy now or something like that, working in a hookah lounge. I guess the way people might look at 50 being the titan that he is, all the success that he has, they would automatically look at his son or somebody that has a child from that level of success and say like a hookah boy. They would paint that as a failure. I think it does require a good level of maturity to publicly come out there and say like, pops, can we fix this? I think that's dope from Marquise. On 50's side, though, here's what it would look like if he continues to shun his son. And I kind of can't blame him for this. You ever see how many times you see these rappers talk about, you know, back then they didn't want me. Now I'm hot. They all on me. Or they talk about how they were treated when they were younger and later on when they became successful. It's like payback season, right? It's just like, oh, now you want to get close to me, or now you want. Let's say hypothetically, Marquise had everything that he wanted as a child. You know, all the latest and greatest sneakers. He had money in his pocket. He had, you know, decent living, decent upbringing. Your mother was right there. She was your safety net. You were still in the house. You were still mama's little boy, maybe. You know, you were still a child, right? So if let's say 50's side of the argument is 100% correct in that, let's say Marquise as a child was brainwashed. And I'll say that's an if. I wasn't in their household on either side, of course, but we do see that happens in the world constantly. Two parents are not together. They don't get along. And each one of them leech bullshit into the kid's brain in an effort to turn them against the other parent or to make themselves be right. I see that myself. All right, it happened in my life as well. I've seen my mother tell me things about my father that she probably didn't have to tell me. I've seen my father tell me things about my mother that he probably didn't have to tell me. Like, really, now I've gained a sense of maturity and wisdom over the years. I can look back and I'm like, I know what he was doing. But at that younger age of Marquise, well, I should say when he was a child, that shit fucking, it swamps your brain. You know, these kids are sponges. So while you having this great time with mommy, say, F pops and all that, and yeah, he's this and he's that, and I don't rock with him and all that. It's cool. And I think 50 probably could have had the feeling of like, you know what? One day you're going to be of an age where there won't be any child support. One day you're going to come into your own. One day your mama won't be there to hold your hand. One day you're going to need me. One day you're going to want me. And these 18 years of hell of me not being able to be there for my son the way that I wanted to be, or me feeling like you've been brainwashed, or me feeling like I was abused or mistreated or taken advantage of, all of that, let's say allegedly, right? All those years, those 18 years, right? When you was under your mother's wing, when y'all did that to me and y'all conspired against me, when that time comes and you need me or you want me, watch. Peep the payback season. And I think 50 has expressed several times that it's not about blood. Me personally, I live like that too. The whole blood is thicker than water thing. Like, let's just be logical for a second here, people. Have you ever had somebody in your family hurt you? Have you ever had somebody in your family take from you, lie to you, physically abuse you? Are you supposed to give it a pass because y'all are of the same bloodline or family tree? No. People are people. Humans are humans. If you mistreat me, I don't give a fuck if you're related to me. I've said this before on the channel too. I've been sued by family. Sued by my aunt over money, over some material bullshit. Money hungry ass chick. I got water friends that would never pull that shit on me. Never even think about it. Right? So we got to stop with these cliche sayings, blood is thicker than water. And I think 50 is showing that he has that type of trait as well. It's not about, damn, no matter what, that's my son. It's almost like he's saying, like, you've sliced me way too many times. You've hurt me way too many times. You and your mother have played this side of the gate too much as my opposite. You're damn near an enemy. He said that, right? Like, how long can you try to love somebody that doesn't love you in return? He said that before. So I think now when you olive branch in his direction, given that type of personality, when you olive branch in those type of people's direction, it's like you don't just get a pass because you're my son or my daughter or my father. You did way too much. You hurt me way too bad. So if you come back into my fold, if I allow you to come into my fold, it's going to be on my timetable. It's going to be fully under my terms. And it's also probably going to be at a time where I don't have that hurt anymore. Because if this person is reacting like, nah, I'm good, some of that is still payback season. Payback season to a degree is emotional. When people fully get over things, they don't give a fuck what happens in a person's life. They don't care if that person wins, loses, happy, sad. When you are really over somebody, like they're not even in your thoughts anymore. If 50 still has any emotions towards his son, even if they're negative emotions, even if they're frustrated emotions, even if they're I'm mad at you emotions, they're still emotions. As those emotions are there, if it's payback season, that olive branch ain't going to go down like that. It's got to be on my terms. When I decide to calm down a little bit more, when I decide that you've been punished enough. Because if I'm 50 Cent and I got all this success and all these opportunities around me, right, and I let you sit there and be a hookah boy as my son, some people might deem that as a form of punishment within itself. Let's think about it, people. So 50 is showing us this, right? And the ironic part is, I'm not even mad at him for it.